Good evening, everyone. How are you all tonight?
Good
Good evening.
Thank you for being here and joining us. We're going to get our meeting started in one moment. All right. Okay, we are going to get started now. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Youth Committee meeting agenda, November 19th, 2020. Board of Alders notice. The Youth and Youth Services Committee of the Board of Alders will meet on Thursday, November 19th, 2020 at 6 p.m. via video conference at https://bit.ly/31G8MFO and by phone at 646-558-8656, webinar ID 976-4103-3120 to hold a workshop on the following item. For required password, contact public testimony at newhavenct.gov. A workshop to discuss the Youth Violence Prevention Grant and Youth Connect, formerly known as Youth SAT. Per order, Honorable Kimberly R. Edwards, Chair. Attest, Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. These items are on file and available in the office of City Clerk, Room 202 at 200 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510. For accessibility-related accommodations, please call 203-946-7833, voice, or 203-946-8582, TTY-TDD. Public comment testimony may also be submitted via email to publictestimony@newhavenct.gov before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. If you wish to present testimony at the meeting, you must register in advance or by calling 203-946-7934 or emailing publictestimony@newhavenct.gov. Public can view the meeting at https://bit.ly/31G8MFO or listen by phone at 646-558-8656, webinar ID 976-4103-3120. The password to listen by phone only is 30295257. Thank you. That is our meeting notice for tonight's meeting. And I'm going to start off by once again thanking you all for showing up tonight and being here. And we're going to get started by introducing ourselves, and we're going to start with the committee. So I am Alder Kimberly Edwards, and I am chair of the Youth Committee. And I would like members of the committee to introduce themselves, starting with our vice chair, please.
Taisha Walker Myers, Vice Chair of the Committee, Ward 23.
Alder Ortiz, Ward 17.
Alder Rodriguez, Ward 6.
Alder Honda Smith, Ward 30.
Alder Acosta, Ward 14.
Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge Alder Sal DeCola and Alder Richard Furlow. Okay, so we are going to begin our workshop. This is our Youth Committee workshop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Ms. Gwendolyn Williams. She's our director of the Youth Department. And we are going to have her introduce herself, stating her name and address for the record, and then she can begin her presentation.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Gwendolyn B. Williams. Address is 5
Chris John Circle, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516. So again, I want to bid a good evening to the Youth Committee. Thank you for affording me this opportunity and this platform just to bring to you updates of what is going on in the Youth and Recreation Department. We are still working hard in the midst of this pandemic to continue to bring some form of normalcy to our young people in the city of New Haven. One program that has been questioned quite a bit, which is like what I would like to bring as the first point, is Youth Stat program. The Youth Stat program, which you may remember, was started approximately 2 years ago under my under my predecessor, as well in conjunction with the Board of Education, the Youth, Family, and Community Engagement Department led by the director, Gemma Lumpkins. So what we decided to do when COVID hit us in March, we were unable to be in the schools anymore, but we continued the work because new problems began to arise. As children and youth were working remotely, problems that we never faced before started surfacing. So for example, we had to start dealing with teachers who would eject students from online or the Zoom, the Google platform because of disruptive behaviors. We also saw an increase in risky behavior and poor judgment. And there was an increase in minor robberies, as well as there was an increase in car thefts. There has been an increase in truancy. And so it was still very important to us to try and figure out what we can do virtually, as well as still providing services under the Youth Stat program. So the first thing we did was that we came together as a unit and we reconstructed the Youth Stat program. So the Youth Stat program we have now renamed as Youth Connect. We did not want students to feel that they were a statistic, but that we were trying to connect with them in order to provide them services. The Youth Connect program is still a collaboration. Primarily, the primary partners are the Youth and Recreation Department, along with the Board of Education, the Youth, Family Engagement, Community Engagement Department, which is led still by Ms. Gemma Lumpkins. And we are working with Kermit Carolina, who is the steerhead point person at the Board of Education for the Youth Connect program. The way the program that has been redesigned, we wanted to take into consideration, one, that we now have to be able to work virtually. In addition to that, we had to understand that there were new needs for our target population, and how do we address it, as well as making sure that we take into consideration our sub-partners that are coming to the table, because we recognize that they did not have to be at every single meeting. Historically, what we would do is once a week, a school will be selected. The entire team will go to the school to discuss the students that have come up on the agenda. But often, many of the organizations that were sitting at the table did not need to be there for maybe that particular case or that particular meeting. So we wanted to take that into consideration as well. We don't want to waste anyone's time. So the way the program is constructed, it is in 3 levels. And I am more than happy to provide to you, Madam Chair, actual brief PowerPoint so you can get a visual of our 3 levels. The first level would be our green level. And so on the green level, these are the students that may be missing some classes, that may be teetering on the edge of being determined as truant. There might just be some issues with teachers in the classroom. And so the first resources will be those that are already in place with the Board of Education to assist those students. So for example, if that means using the truant officers to go out to the homes to find out what is going on, if it means for social workers or psychologists to be involved, if that means to review to make sure any items on their IEP are in place and that they are being abided by, all of that will still be taken care of by the Board of Education. That is that first level. Our second level is considered our yellow level. So it's kind of like a warning sign. We're becoming very concerned. These students will be presented in a virtual meeting. We will be having virtual meetings. And at that time in our discussion, we would start to create a success plan for the student. This success plan could be inclusive of, but not limited to, being referred out to one of our partners. Example of our partners that are sitting at the table with us is Clifford Beers. So if there was a need for mental health services, we could make a referral to Clifford Beers. If there was any kind of interactions with the judicial system, we have the Juvenile Review Board which sits at the table, Urban Community Alliance, which manages the Juvenile Review Board program. They are also sitting at the table. We have Pro Justice Education is sitting at the table. So if there is a need to try and get a young person into a trade or some type of training, we can refer them out to Justice Education, who could put them in their career pathway program. And so we are trying to eliminate any potential issues of going to our red level, which I will describe for you next. These partners we invite as we come up with the listing of students who will be discussed at that meeting. The third level is our red level. So these are our most at-risk young people who are doing the riskiest behavior. And so this group that sits at this level is the Assistant Chief of Police, Carl Jacobson. We are also working with parole and probation, Kate Gunning. We are working with members of the JRB team, and this is just to give you an example. We are working with the Connecticut Violence Intervention Program, Kermit, Carolina. We're sitting at the table. We meet every week, and these are the young people that we have identified that have been shooters in the community. It might be young people who we know are being released from incarceration, and we feel that they might be a potential for some risky behavior. And so we try to engage them as soon as they are released, and we go to their house and we try to make sure that we are able to possibly curb any kind of, again, risky behavior. When we hear of a shooting, this is the same team that will dispatch themselves out to the hospitals to work with the families, to work with the hospitals so that there is no retaliation. If we can identify someone on the opposite side that there may be retaliation against, we will engage those students as well to try and curb as much physical violence as possible. The way we have also restructured the Youth Connect program is the way that we receive children, I'm using the word children, the way we receive youth into the program, working with the police department, probation department, with the Board of Education. We are identifying the top 100 students within the city for the Youth Connect program. Each school, our primary schools are Hill House, Wilbur Cross, and Riverside Academy. We are working with those principals as well. And so those three schools are able to refer to us immediately up to 25 young people that they feel or have identified needs the services of the USTEP program. The other 25 we have left open for referrals from outside agencies, other schools, outside agencies, meaning, again, the police department, parole or probation, CTVIP, or even if there was someone on the youth commission that had engaged a young person that they feel is at a high level of at risk or risky behavior, you are more than have the opportunity to actually contact us to make a referral so that we can engage this young person immediately. Another change to the program is that there is a definitive intake and there's also a definitive discharge. We recognize that as we're doing this program and that we are trying to obtain grant dollars to keep the program going, that data drives everything we do. That is just the reality. And so we had to do a better job in obtaining the data that we needed so that when we are presenting this program to organizations where we can potentially obtain money, that we have the data that they need. I am continually working with the University of Connecticut, Dr. Coker, who has offered to assist us in making sure that we just don't obtain data, that we make sure that the data tells the story that we want to tell. And so I am very grateful to maintain that relationship with the University of New Haven. They have worked with us from the very beginning, and they are not leaving us, so we're very grateful for that. I will say to you that the Youth STAT program, Youth Connect, former Youth STAT program, Youth Connect program is still a work in progress. Do we have everything perfect? No. But what we have learned to do is how to sit down, look back, take a historical perspective, and really debrief and figure out what is working and what is not working. We believe that what we have retweaked right now will be very beneficial for the community, because we know that there were some things we were doing that just really wasn't the best avenues to go. So we're trying it again with the restructure. We will be kicking off on the second semester for the students. We will be working with Justice Education and all the other departments. We will also have some case navigators, which is new to this program. So a case navigator will be someone who is just a temporary worker who will be able to navigate the young people to obtain services that they need to obtain. Now, they are not case managers, case navigators. So for example, if we do an assessment in the household and we see that they may not have any food, or they are having difficulty paying for their heat or rent, we will help navigate them to the organizations that will be able to meet their needs, such as Community Action Agency, DSS. We will help them navigate through the process of getting the application and what they have to do. And we will also, we'll also still provide basic needs to students, but that is a very restricted fund. It has to be something that is extremely important in order to be able to obtain basic needs. Basic needs that we have done in the past has been inclusive of, and not limited to, getting glasses for a young person, getting a mattress, because we found when we went home, they were sleeping on the floor, providing them with a voucher to Ferraro's or a gift card to one of the grocery stores to be able to get food in their household, something that we can do to meet the immediate needs until we're able to get them attached to services that they need. So before I move on to the youth violence prevention, I wanted to afford any of the committee members, if they wanted to ask me any questions, or if I can bring any more clarity to how we have redesigned the Youth SAT program.
Thank you. Committee members, anyone have questions?
Okay, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This is all right with me. If you don't have a question, that means I presented well.
Question. How do you select your case navigators? Where do they come from? Like, how are they selected?
We actually have not started that process yet, Madam Chairperson. Mm-hmm. The first thing that we're doing is I am being very intentional. I'm being very intentional in writing the job description of what we would like for this navigator to do. I am still getting feedback from the main partners at the table to see exactly how this role is. Once we define the positions, then we will open it up, because it is we're also working with another outside agency who would actually be running, managing the case navigators, but they are working with us, so they are not city employees. Just to make sure that you understand that they're working with our partners, one of our partners who will be managing it, but I am playing a key role in helping to define the roles that they will play. Again, it's just very important to me, just from past experience. I think it's just very important to be intentional in a job description, so there's never any confusion about the expectations of the position.
Thank you. And that position, what kind of funding is that position paid out of?
We're using grant dollars that we have received. Okay. And that will kind of bridge over into the Youth Violence Prevention Grant as well.
Thank you. And the Basic Needs Fund, um, how do you make those determinations? I mean, do you have a cap on it, like a set dollar amount, or is it kind of like on a case by case, need by need basis?
It is a case by case, need by need basis, but I have to be transparent and say we've kind of put an informal cap on it, because I'll give you an example. We had at one time a community mentor who came to us and said they needed basic needs for the young person. So of course I'm asking the question, what's the issue? All of the when, where, why, how, what happened, and what is the need? And so I was told, well, the young man said he needed a lid and some Jordans, and that would make him go to school. Okay, so we have to be within reason. We take everything case by case in account. And I know that just because you have a lid, that is not going to take care of any other issues. And so I will say that we do it case by case. The most we have ever spent was approximately $150, and that was twice. And that was because we needed to get a bed frame and a mattress. And we did a search on Amazon to find a sturdy, reliable, but the cheapest frame that we could find. And one time we had to move, I'm sorry, 3 times. We had to move a young person immediately out of town to get to his aunt, because there was basically, they were gonna shoot him. And so we worked to get him out of town as quick as possible. And I'm very proud to say that we saved his life on that one. And the very last thing we dealt with was a family who was being retaliated against for a current issue that was going on. They kept going by shooting up the family's house. There was younger children in the home. The mother was in the home. And so working with the probation, juvenile probation, we put the family up in a hotel until we were able to get them to a secure location. So it is case by case, but I am definitely making sure that we are scrutinizing and being as frugal as possible with the basic needs. It has to be something life altering in order to obtain basic needs.
Thank you. Committee members, any questions? Alder Rodriguez?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Director. Thank you so much for all the information. The other piece I was going to say, I know that sometimes, like you said, you have to get a bed frame, and you're trying to do it wisely, buying the needed items. Do you think at some point, because they are in our community, reaching out to IKEA so that when you run into those issues, maybe they can partner up with you and help the families that are in the New Haven area? Because it sounds like you're making sure that you're stretching your dollar, and that sounds great. So hopefully they can partner up to help you make life better for a lot of our families. The other question I had, if you don't mind, is how long do our youth stay in the program? You follow them for how long?
We keep the young person in the program until we feel that the case they are able to manage themselves, or we will follow them up to a year after graduation from high school. I wish that we were able to keep them longer, but because we do kind of have an age cap on the program, we go up to the age of 21 officially. Unofficially, we still follow our young people. They stop by the office, they call. I mean, it is so much, I can see them in a grocery store and, it's like, miss, you remember me? And so the formal is up to a year after they graduate from high school. Informal is a lifetime. And thank you for your suggestion about IKEA. I am definitely going to reach out to them. I have to be honest and say I've been kind of ambivalent being in the middle of the pandemic. I know there are many organizations who are just not doing well, and even businesses are closing down left and right, but it doesn't hurt to ask. A mouth is not fed if you don't ask. So thank you for the suggestion.
And one last question, Madam Chair, if I can. It sounds, again, you're doing everything, and I just liked your last statement that when someone sees you in the grocery store. So to me, that speaks volumes when someone remembers that you touched them. And I heard you quite clearly when you said you're navigators, you are taking your time to do it right. So I think sharing that piece of your story, that after they left the program, they saw you and they appreciated seeing you. That would be great for your navigators to know that that's what we want to do. We want to not have young folks run away from us, but to run towards us. And I think that that story says a lot. And
Thank you. Thank you, Alder Rodriguez. Any other committee members at this time? All right, how about our other alders that are present? Do you have any questions you would like to ask? No? Okay. Thank you. I guess we can go on to the next subject.
Okay. The next bridge, one of the questions you asked about was funding that we're using. Some of the dollars that we are using is with the Youth Violence Prevention Grant. I think she clicked off for 1 second. I just want to give a informal shout out to our vice chair as well as the president of the Board of Aldermen, Alder Walker Myers, because she has been an intricate part of our youth violence prevention program. And so I finally publicly have the opportunity to say thank you for everything that you have done with us in that program. The last time we were granted, which was in fiscal year 20, so July 2019, we were actually granted for 2 years. So that is why you did not see us come back to you all this year requesting acceptance of the dollars, because you accepted it for 2 years. This year, we did put out the RFP for the Youth Violence Prevention Grant. For those who are not familiar with this grant has been dollars that we have been receiving from the state of Connecticut, the Judicial Department. I hope I'm saying it right. Yes, Judicial Department. And I believe we're going into about year 6 of receiving these dollars. We have unfortunately been cut drastically. When we first started off with youth violence prevention, we received like $700,000. Right now, we're down to approximately $233,000 that we are receiving. From these dollars, we are offering 2 things. One, we take care of the dollars for the Youth Connect Youth STAT program. We have used those dollars to hire seasonal temporary employees, such as mentors for the program, tutors for the program, using those dollars to take our target population on field trips, small things that we take for granted that the young people never had a chance to do, such as going to a basketball game or to a football game, even getting out of the boundaries of the city of New Haven. So we are very happy for that work we have been able to do with them. We will continue to use a portion of those dollars to cover our programming for the Youth Connect program. It will be those dollars that assist us in continuing with mentors. And even though they're working virtually, they still need tutors. We have found that is very important. So we will be continuing that portion. I must say that my manager, Tommy Veal, has been managing the Youth Violence Prevention Grant dollars since we have received them. She has been the person that has been working with Alder Walker Myers and I think it was Brian Wingate as well. Okay. Who has been working with those grants. We did put out the RFP this year. We only received 5 RFPs coming back. An organization called Dream Kit, which is new to us, LEAP, Music Haven, Urban Community Alliance, the former New Haven Family Alliance, and Sport Academy, which is new as well. We have Tommy Veal, myself, and another member of the Youth and Recreation Department have reviewed the RFPs, and we have an idea of what we wish to distribute to them, but I must confer with Alder Walker Myers, just to get her approval and have her agree with us before we send out any kind of formal communication. But what we have allotted for them, we are looking at about $60,000 of those dollars to go out to these organizations. Many of the organizations have the capacity to do much of their work virtual, which is very important since we see that the state is rolling back to phase 2. And I understand tentatively it's a possibility of us rolling back to phase 1. So it was very important to us that these organizations had the capacity to be able to continue their work in a virtual manner. And we are pleased with what we have received from them so far. The Youth Violence Prevention Program, I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am that they are continuing to give the dollars to us, because it is getting grants such as this that has allowed us to support outside organizations, to be able to take care of the Youth Connect program without coming back to you all for dollars. So we are very pleased that we still have this grant. That part is really short for the Youth Violence Prevention Grant, so I'm not sure if you all have any questions about the grant. Please know that it is a formal RFP process through the purchasing department. It is advertised in an appropriate manner, and so the only way you can receive the dollars is completing and submitting your RFP through the Department of Purchasing. It is a contractual process. So once we give the approval for the grant letter, then we will start entering into contracts with the organizations.
Thank you. Do any of the committee members have questions? Okay, Alder Walker-Myers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's really important that you change the name of the Youth Stat program, because our kids aren't statistics. And I think that sometimes, words sometimes influence what our kids think about themselves. So I like the new name. That's the first thing. And
Yep.
I would like to say thank you to the youth department, because we have been able to accomplish some good work together. And I think we have to figure out how to wrap not only our arms around the children, which is very important, but we all know that a lot of times with the enter the youth stat program, it's some other issues going on, and we have to figure out a way to support the parents. So I think it's really important, the things that you guys do when you notice that it's a very severe situation where not just the child, but the family need help. So I think that's really important. And I just want to commend the work that you continuously do for our youth in New Haven. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot that you all are recognizing our work, and I will definitely relay this to the staff. It will be a morale booster to know that we've never stopped working in the pandemic. In the beginning of the pandemic in March, we developed a relationship with Walmart, and we were actually distributing PPE supplies to families. We were going around, we had it in our car. If we saw anyone that needed cleaning supplies, we're like, wait a minute, come to the car. They would get a Walmart bag, and it would be full of hand sanitizers, soap, Lysol spray. So we have not stopped. And I want you all to know that the department has been working very hard. And even with the transition of coming together, the two sides, the work has never stopped. There has been fluidity, consistency. And so I'm very happy to relay that message back to them. And thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair.
Any other questions or comments from committee members? I did have one question. Being that we're in a virtual state, as you previously stated, how has your outreach been? Have you been connecting? Like, what are your success rates with connecting, to the clients?
Madam Chair, we're still going out in the field. So for example, approximately 2 weeks ago, they actually did I don't know if you want to call it a walk up, a drive by, where there was a team that with the police, probation, CTVIP, Board of Ed, as well as the Youth and Recreation Department, identified 25 young people. And in 2 days, they went to each of their homes just to check on them. And this has been within the last month. So we still have contact with the community. Scares me sometimes because I'm telling them they have to be careful with COVID, but they are willing to, take that risk because they just believe it's very important to connect, to make sure that these families and these young people know that we haven't forgotten about them in the middle of COVID. And so far, everything that we have been doing has been successful. And Madam Chair, if I may just take this one opportunity, I know this wasn't on the agenda, but I wish to thank any of the alders that came by to our revised trunk or treat event, which we had on October 31st. It was our first drive-through trunk or treat. It was over at Edgewood. It went through Edgewood Park. Actually, it was quite successful because there are many people who lived in this city for years who have never drove through Edgewood Park and had the opportunity to see how beautiful it is and how big it is going through the path. We serviced over, when they were doing a clicker, I think we did almost 2,000 coming through the park. It was great. We have some wonderful pictures from it. So thank you for those who supported us and came out. If you have an opportunity tomorrow at Wexler Grant, 55 Foot Street, we will be having our Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. We have been able to get a hold to over 600 turkeys that we will be giving away tomorrow. It is a drive-through event. Again, we are working in collaboration with the Yale Police Department, New Haven Police Department, the Firebirds of the New Haven Fire Department, along with the Health Department. We will be out there starting at 4 p.m. until all the supplies are gone. You have to enter in on Dixwell Avenue at the driveway right across from Varick Church, where Dixwell Community Church is, which is the back of Wexler Grant. If you know anyone who is in need of a turkey, all they have to do is drive through. We will be there, even in the cold, in the dark. I'm still gonna be there. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm getting tired. But while for everything to be gone, we will be there. If you want to come through, even if it's just to say hi, maybe possibly see some of your constituents, we welcome you. We invite you to come. It will be wonderful just to see your face.
Thank you, Director Williams. Any committee members have any questions? No, not at this time. How about our other alders that are present? Alder DeCola or Alder Furlow? Do you have any questions or comments at this time?
No, not at this time. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
No questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
No problem. Okay, Director Williams, I think you covered a great amount of things, important things.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We love having you. This is important work. This is our future. This is our city. These are our youth. We got to make sure we're doing the right thing by them. And it looks like your department is on the right path and staying the course.
We're trying. Madam Chair, so the committee would know, we have finally filled all of our positions. Our last person will be starting on Monday, the 23rd. So we're now finally a complete department of 15. I solicit everyone's prayers that, we just keep doing it right. And if there's anything that I am doing wrong, please just give me a call. Don't put me on blast. Just give me a call and I will be more than happy. I have an open ear. I am learning. I'm at the top of the curve, but I'm just letting you know, I know I'm not perfect. So if any advice you wish to give me, suggestions, I am so open to it. Honda, I'm glad to see you. Miss you because you used to come visit us. So maybe I'll get you come back again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out west, so I'll see you when I come back.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. So yes, we thank you and your department for your work. We will continue to communicate effectively as we have been doing. It makes things run a lot easier and smoother.
Yes.
And it's awesome. The collaboration is awesome. So
Thank you.
I do thank you. And our committee members, we have another opportunity to ask questions. No?
No, they're right. They're okay. They're hungry. They're tired.
Can you repeat the details for the drive-by tomorrow?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, ma'am?
Yeah. Can you just repeat the details for the drive-by tomorrow? The time and the address.
Absolutely. The turkey giveaway will take place tomorrow starting at 4 p.m. It is in the back of Wexler Grant Elementary School over on Foot Street. In order to enter, because it is a drive-through, you have to come down Dixwell Avenue. As soon as you pass Cornell Scott, there will be an entrance to your right-hand side. It will look as if you're going into Dixwell Community Church, but that is a driveway which will take you behind Wexler Grant, and you will see us. We're going to have the big fire spotlights there. You'll see a whole bunch of people, and we're also doing walk-ups. We have a designated space so that for those who do not have cars will still be able to obtain a turkey. So there's walk-ups, and to make sure so that you know we're doing it right. That's why we're coordinating with the health department. Signage is out, so, you know, the keeping your distance, you must have a mask on. And so no one is offended. If you come, Alderman, you will have to sign our log and your temperature will have to be taken and you have to answer our questions, or I'm gonna have to say you can't stay. So if you want, I can get the flyer out to you. I can send it to all the to Mitzi or Mickey, and they can disperse it. As soon as we hang up, I will make sure that I get it to them.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, please. And we'll make sure everyone gets that if they don't have it already. And we'll share the PowerPoint presentation with you all as well. So do we have any members of the public wishing to ask questions at this time? It's a workshop, but I'll ask again. Do we have any members of the public that wish to ask a question or make a comment at this time? I'll ask a third time, just to be clear. Do we have any members of the public present that wish to ask a question or make a comment at this time? No? Okay. I think you might be all set. Okay. So. Nope, no members of the, okay, no members of the public present that wish to ask questions.
Okay.
Okay. So, go ahead, Alder Walker-Myers.
I was just gonna say, Madam Chair, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second?
I second.
We have a second here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Okay. Well, this meeting is adjourned. And I thank you once again for coming, and we will be in touch. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Good night.